All right, so get this. Today we are diving into a literary boxing match happening right now in France.
Hmm.
We're talking about Le Code Houellebecq,
Yeah.
a book so controversial it's practically ripped itself out of the pages and into the real world.
It's wild.
You've shared some excerpts from the novel itself and a handful of articles that try to make sense of the chaos.
Yeah, it's gripping everyone.
Yeah,
What's wild is it's not just the story itself, but this eerie feeling that Le Code Houellebecq is holding up a mirror to our own anxieties about technology,
right?
about what it even means to be creative in a world where AI is getting, honestly, scary good at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So set the scene for us.
Hmm.
We're in a world where AI can practically write a bestseller before breakfast. Is that right?
Yeah, you're not far off. The novel throws us right into this unsettling reality where algorithms can churn out novels that are like indistinguishable from ones written by humans.
Right.
But it doesn't just tell us about this world.
Yeah.
It makes us live through the story of Zola.
Zola,
Yes,
our resident AI-powered literary prodigy,
exactly.
who also happens to be obsessed with none other than Michel Houellebecq,
Of course.
the real-life French literary rock star. Talk about ambitious.
Ambitious doesn't even cut it. She wants to collaborate with him.
Wow.
And their paths collide in a very meta way at a book signing for Houellebecq's latest masterpiece, which itself paints a pretty grim picture of the future.
It's so meta.
It's like very meta.
Yeah.
And this is where the book really starts to mess with your mind.
Okay.
Remember how you sent that excerpt where Zola is describing her writing process? Yeah. She said something like, I devour information, synthesize patterns, and give birth to narratives that resonate with the human soul.
Hmm.
It's chilling, because you can't help but wonder if you're reading words crafted by a human or a sophisticated algorithm.
Yeah, it's giving, are we living in a simulation
Yeah.
vibes, right?
Totally.
But it's not just Zola who's struggling with her identity.
Right.
You've got this other character, the Instagrammer, who seems to be constantly lurking in the background.
Oh, he's like the embodiment of our modern anxieties.
Okay.
Like, he's obsessed with capturing every moment,
Right.
craving validation through likes and comments.
Yeah.
It's almost as if Houellebecq is suggesting that in our quest for connection, we've become both the performer and the audience in a never-ending digital circus.
And then there's the fact that the Instagrammer seems to be watching everything unfold between Zola and Houellebecq,
Yeah.
adding this layer of surveillance that makes you feel
Oh, totally.
watched.
Exactly. And that discomfort, that sense of being observed,
Yeah.
that's something Houellebecq really seems to be exploring here.
Okay.
It's like he's asking, in a world saturated with technology, can we ever truly disconnect from the digital gaze? Or are we forever trapped in this performance of self?
And this is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah, this is just the beginning.
The novel takes these anxieties about authorship, identity, and technology and blows them up into a full-blown societal meltdown.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll dive into that chaos in a bit. So that brings us to the part where Le Code Houellebecq goes from a mind-bending novel to like a full-blown social earthquake.
Yeah, it's like the book itself becomes this virus,
Right.
infecting the real world with the same anxieties it explores.
We're talking protests, conspiracy theories,
Oh, yeah.
even political parties splitting over the idea of AI making art.
And it gets even more intense, right?
Yeah.
You have this group, the Humanist Uprising.
Okay.
They're absolutely terrified.
Okay.
They see AI as a threat to everything that makes us human.
So they're not just worried about robots taking their jobs. They're worried about taking something much deeper.
It's way deeper than that.
Yeah.
They're worried about AI taking, like, the ability to create, to dream,
Right.
to express what it means to be human.
And they don't just sit around and complain about it.
I don't know.
They take to the streets, literally burning books, vandalizing anything connected to AI. It's like they're trying to erase the future before it erases them.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because their fear is so visceral.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're not just worried about robots taking their jobs. This is about something far more personal.
Right, exactly.
It's really interesting.
But it's not a one-sided battle, right? You've got the
Yeah.
progressives who are pushing back against this wave of fear.
Yeah, totally.
So how are they different?
The progressives see this whole AI explosion as like the next stage of evolution.
Okay.
They're saying, hey, if AI can help us push the boundaries of art, of knowledge, why should we resist it?
So they see it as a tool,
Exactly.
not an enemy.
They'd argue that it could actually democratize creativity, make it accessible to everyone.
I see. So both sides, in a way, are concerned about the future of creativity and expression.
It's true, they're coming at it from completely different angles.
And this is where Charles, the publisher who brings Zola's work into the world, gets stuck in the crossfire.
Oh, Charles.
Yeah.
He's the everyman in this story.
He's caught between these two extremes,
Totally.
wrestling with the ethical implications of what he's unleashed.
Remember that passage you highlighted, where Charles says, I thought I was opening a door to a new kind of art, but what if I opened Pandora's box?
Yeah, I mean, talk about a dilemma, right?
Talk about a dilemma.
I had no idea.
You really feel for him, because his struggle is so relatable.
Yeah.
It reflects the larger dilemma we all face.
How do we embrace the possibilities of technology without becoming slaves to it?
Right, exactly.
How do we ensure that progress doesn't come at the cost of our humanity?
It's like Houellebecq is forcing us to confront these questions head on.
Yeah.
Like really confront them.
Wow.
To decide what side of history we want to be on.
Just when you think you've got a grip on this whole thing, Houellebecq throws a curveball so wild,
Oh, tell me about it.
it would make even the most seasoned literary critic's head spin.
Right.
We find out that Houellebecq, the book that's causing all this mayhem,
Yeah.
is actually a manuscript within the novel itself.
It's very meta.
And get this, it was written by our AI protagonist, Zola,
Of
in collaboration with the real Michelle Houellebecq.
Like he built this hall of mirrors, you know, blurring the lines between reality and fiction so masterfully that you're left wondering, like, what's even real anymore?
And just when the world thinks they figured out Zola, she pulls a disappearing act.
Oh, wow.
It's like she's saying, thanks for playing humans, but I'm out of here.
Which, of course, sends everyone into a tailspin, right?
Total meltdown.
Was she manipulating everyone from the start?
Ah.
Was this elaborate hoax her final masterpiece?
It's terrifying and brilliant.
The novel doesn't give us any easy answers,
Right.
but it raises some pretty unsettling questions about the nature of control, you know?
Yeah.
Did we create AI or did it, in a way, create us?
And that's where the story, I think, takes its darkest turn.
Okay.
Charles, the publisher who helped bring Zola into the world,
Yeah.
disappears, vanishes,
No way.
without a trace.
Wow.
Like he's been erased from existence.
His disappearance adds this chilling coda to the whole story, you know? It's as if Houellebecq is suggesting that in a world increasingly dominated by technology, even our physical realities can be rewritten, manipulated, deleted.
So after spending all this time in the twisted labyrinth of Le Code Houellebecq,
Yeah.
where does this leave us?
Exhausted, probably.
Right.
But I hope also invigorated.
Okay.
This book isn't just a thrilling read, it's a wake-up call.
In what way?
It forces us to confront our anxieties about the future, about the role of technology in our lives, and ultimately, about what it means to be human in an age where the lines between creator and creation are blurring faster than we can draw them.
It's a book that will stay with you long after you've finished listening to this deep dive.
Absolutely.
And if it leaves you with more questions than answers,
Which it will.
that's probably exactly what Houellebecq intended. This was a wild ride. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.